Jay Boogie in the building. Oh man.
Hey, Jay!
Jay Boogie, you gotta go live and put some knowledge out there, bro.
Thank you, Jay Boogie, for this wonderful scope.
Jay Boogie in the building. Oh man.
Hey, Jay!
Jay Boogie, you gotta go live and put some knowledge out there, bro.
Thank you, Jay Boogie, for this wonderful scope.
Jay Boogie in the building. Oh man.
Hey, Jay!
Jay Boogie, you gotta go live and put some knowledge out there, bro.
Thank you, Jay Boogie, for this wonderful scope.
Jay Boogie in the building. Oh man.
Jay Boogie, you just made me want to lift every voice and sing till earth and...
All right, so there you got it. That is the show intro. The show intro for Lift Every Voice. The Boogie Show.
Brother Jamal here. Once again, this will be my second video on this account, an account that I haven't really used. So like I said in the first video, I was gonna start being more active on here. So I'm back with a second installment in the series that I've recently started, called ADOS Circus. And there's a reason why I named this series ADOS Circus, because we've got a so-called movement that's trying to attach itself to our people, right? And they're basically claiming to represent us. They claiming to be an identity for us. But the more I observe and the more I research and the more I look into this movement, man, it's amazing the things that I'm discovering. So at the same time, I'm trying to encourage everyone else, right? That's part of not just the YouTube community, but society as a whole. My people, and again, my people. When I say that, when I use that phrase, I'm referencing, the hip hop generation, right? Millennials and up, right? Who are part of the middle and working classes. All right, worldwide, not just in the north, of America where we at right now. Okay. So that's very important that I establish that. But today's video, again, you guys know I'm kind of long-winded, so I'm gonna try to move through this real quickly. We're gonna get to it. But this video is gonna be about Talib Kwelis and his whole battle against the ADOS, and he's been going at these guys for at least a few months. Okay, at least from what I understand, he's been going at them since at least January or February. I had already put out videos on these dudes, or at least done things on other platforms on ADOS, places like Periscope and whatnot. Like I told you guys, I was using a lot of different places. And the reason I was doing that is, we're getting into an era of censorship, and YouTube has been getting censored, has been censoring content creators heavily, and other platforms too. So the blockchain, right? If you look into what that is, if you guys have been living under a rock and don't know anything about the blockchain or cryptocurrency, there are platforms being created on there, and it's a little bit harder to censor us on those platforms. So I've definitely been working and developing those, because I'm part of the crypto community as well, because I believe that is the future, and it's also a great tool of empowerment for us against the establishment. But anyway, that's just a long-winded kind of explanation. What I want to get into today, though, is, you know, this ADOS circus just, you know, getting out of control. And again, I haven't really gone into the whole thing the way I would want to, breaking down ADOS and things like that. I'm just hoping people, or at least I'm thinking people are gonna, you know, start looking into it themselves. But again, roughly, it stands for American Descendants of Slaves, or slavery, I believe. And you know, they're basically, you know, they're reminiscent of Black Lives Matter, right? They started on Twitter, founded or partly founded by a queer, you know, person by the name of Yvette Carnell. And you know, same thing with Black Lives Matter. And you know, they've basically been on, you know, social media, the web, and you know, just spreading their ideology and spreading their rhetoric. And so I've been trying to break them piece by piece, because there's so much involved. You can't really just in one sitting break down what they are and show people what they're about. And so this is why I'm doing this series, ADOS Circus, because I've looked into them and I've studied them enough, and things. There's also things that I'm learning as we go along. Like today, I found out something that's just incredible, and it goes to show what these guys are about. You know, there's you know, looking into, right, who they are, right, and you know, their rhetoric and their ideology. But it's also important to look at them in real time and see what they're about, the things that they do. Okay. And so this particular installment that I'm doing right now is going to look at in real time what these, you know, ADOS types, right? I call them the ADOS crowd, because I have not attached myself, right, to them. You know, there's a lot of people that's already attached themselves to ADOS, claiming it as an identity. All right, I can choose to do that, but I don't, because I know it's a counterfeit identity. It's fake. It's not really based on anything. Okay, if anything, it's a psyop. I've said that in my last video. All right, and so, you know, there's quite a lot that I can, you know, bring out, but I'm gonna do it piece by piece. You know, I'm gonna break it up into, again, a series. So again, this is another installment of the series. Excuse me, ADOS Circus, and today we're gonna look at how they are attacking, right, people of their own community. And again, they have now, you know, gotten the reputation for being an anti-immigrant, right? Let me repeat this. They're an anti-immigrant hate cult. This is the reputation that they've basically you know, have developed over the last few months based off of their actions and the things that they're doing on you know, social media. All right, so you know, anybody who somehow disagrees with their rhetoric, you know, or their ideology, all of a sudden, you know, oh, you might be an immigrant of some sort, or you might be from somewhere else, because it's a nativist group, right? It's the nativist, right, ideology. It's the nativist rhetoric that, you know, that this is a blood and soil situation for them, meaning that, you know, they feel that, you know, they built this country and all this good stuff. And so, okay, there's gonna be people that disagree with you. So does that mean that automatically the assumption is they're from somewhere else, and you stigmatize and marginalize them? You know, this is one of the tactics that they use. It's very important people pay attention to that. And so what if someone is from somewhere else and they still disagree with your, you know, ideology and your rhetoric? So then what happens? All right, so this is the nativist, right? This is the nativist way of thinking. This is another thing people can look up, and I'm gonna get into that as well eventually, because I'm gonna start breaking this thing down further and further. But again, we're gonna look at, you know, this ADOS and, you know, and the crowd of people that support it, you know, and it's not a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? It's mostly a contingent that exists on Twitter. Now, there's been discussions based off of the stuff that they've been putting out there, like reparations and things like that. But the reparations discussion has been around. It's not something that, it was brought about by the so-called hashtag ADOS movement. It's been around. Okay, but they've kind of used that angle, the reparations angle, and they've popularized it to to some degree. And so yeah, people have politicians have picked up on it. All right, so that's definitely a fact. Now it's the question of how do they interact with the rest of us who who don't want to subscribe to the entire trick bag, as a guy like Tariq would say, right? Because there's a trick bag that comes along with quote unquote attaching yourself to being ADOS. Again, it's a generic identity, right? There's nativist elements in there. And they're also anti-immigrant. And there's a lot of hate. A lot of the stuff that you hear from these guys, you can't help but, man, this is hate, man. You can't help but think that it is hate. It's a lot of vitriol directed at immigrants. And it's interesting, they're going after so-called black immigrants, right? They're going after our people. Again, I'm in solidarity with our people all over the world. See, that's an ideological thing where I'm definitely not gonna mess with you guys because y'all want to just focus here in North America, and and what you want to do is we want to talk about the 40 or so million that's here, and we're better than everybody else, and they're living off of us, blah blah blah, all that talk. I disagree with that. All right, so does Talib Kwelis and a lot of others like him. And so instead of allowing people to have their own perspectives, what these guys are doing, they're literally attacking people on a personal level. All right, they're deliberately targeting people, and and doing some very vile things. And what we're gonna look at right now is this ADOS person that's on Twitter attacking Talib Kwelis. Okay, and this is what they've resorted to. They've actually used Talib's grandmother's picture. Now, Talib's grandmother recently passed. All right, and so they've used the image of Talib's grandmother to actually troll and attack him on, literally attack him on a personal level on Twitter. So let's go through this real quick. And so here's Talib's Kwelis page, right? And this is the tweets that he's I guess he's responding to this person or whatever. The person goes by the handle Naji Samir Naji. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's most likely a troll account. And you see Talib here responding. He's saying, so ADOS is now resorting to posting pics of my grandmother, Beverly Moorhead, who passed away last year, in order to try and fail to bully me into silence. This only makes me louder and stronger. And he's had this hashtag that he uses to really describe, this ADOS thing, and it's the hashtag ADOS is trash. I do encourage people to, go ahead and check out that particular hashtag, because there's a lot of amazing things you'll discover. Again, the ADOS crowd has been attacking Talib for months now. He's uncovered and brought out a lot of important information concerning these guys. And so if you go to that hashtag, you definitely, you have a wealth of information at your fingertips, to just kind of scroll to. And maybe if you are not familiar with the situation at all, it'll help you catch up. We definitely want you to look up, ADOS hashtag. There's enough information about it now. Look up Yvette Carnell and the other co-founder, Antonio. You know, I mean, just do your due diligence, man. Do the knowledge, as the 5% Nation would say, right? So yeah, so you can go through and just go and read, you know, through all of this. And I will be doing videos on this. I'll just come, you know, to this hashtag and show everybody what's going on, you know. And there's another hashtag, ADOS is MAGA. All right, that's also important. The reason I haven't gone into that because I want to explain to everybody what the whole connection between ADOS and the so-called MAGA movement, and how, you know, the ADOS basically function as, you know, Trump supporters, you know. And so yeah, so these are two little hashtags that right now they're probably the hottest hashtags on Twitter. ADOS is trash, ADOS is MAGA. And I will be coming back, you know, to them for reference, all right, and future videos. And so let's go back to this you know, really sad, amazing thing right here. So Talib Kwelis, right, had his grandmother who passed away, and then so this dude, we're gonna click on his file. I guess his file is gone now, but no, here it is. And so there he is. So that's the, I guess, troll account right there. And let's see the tweets. And so this is all a joke for him, right? So he took Talib's grandmother's picture, and it's all a joke, man. And these are the kind of things he's saying. No, I thought she raised him better and stuff like that. That's really foul, you know. So if you want to push an ideology, this is what you're gonna resort to do it. This is why people are not rocking with y'all, man. Like I've presented ideological reasons, right? I've breaking down, you know, things to show where I don't agree. But you guys are now making it personal, where people now are gonna have a visceral reaction against that whole crew or that whole crowd, because again, it's really just a makeshift identity. So, you know, somebody put a hashtag together, and then all of a sudden y'all gonna personalize it and attach yourselves to it. That's very dangerous, man. All right, that's psyop, right? That's programming, okay? And then we're encouraging people to think for themselves in this day and age. But here's this guy. They not only have they attached themselves to this thing, they've gone the next mile and attacked, you know, a person on a personal level. And this is all a joke. Look at this. Look at the type of memes they got. It's all a joke, y'all. All right, this is insidious. And so we're gonna look at Talib's response to this, right? And you know, this is really telling. And that's what I'm saying. In real time, we're starting to see what this whole ADOS thing is really about. They try to claim that they're for our people and all this stuff, but this is what they're doing. Okay? And this is some of the response of the people, right, that are seeing this. Right, and again, this is what this guy is saying. He's saying, "Oh, retweet this every time you at me and spreading propaganda. Know she's watching and disappointment." Wow. So you're gonna take that, you know, you're gonna take that brother's image, grandmother's image, photo, excuse me, and then you just gonna put it on Twitter like that. You understand? I don't think that person's account is gonna last for too long, because a lot of their, you know, these trolls, they don't last for too long. So here we go. So we got somebody responding saying, "Wow, didn't white trolls try, you know, doing this last year?" And that's the thing. A lot of these cats, you know, they're most likely not even, you know, quote unquote black. You know, they could be just alt-right, you know, racist, you know, supremacists or whatever. You know, using the whole ADOS, because it's very easy to use the ADOS, you know, thing and go around social media and basically just troll. You know, anybody can do it, right? So yeah, so Talib responds and says, "Yup, the battle rapping white boy with 3 cuts in his eyebrow. These are the same racist white trolls from last year with the same pics of my grandmother. They just call themselves hashtag ADOS now. And that's how I know hashtag ADOS was trash soon as they showed up in my mentions. Okay? And then someone responds and says, pretty soon he'll be complaining that his account is suspended. That's right. And that person should get their account suspended. You don't do stuff like that. That's just disgusting.